today we are going to look at the ultimate show-off Photoshop photo. But I have to warn you, it's a long run. To create a photo looking like this is not just something you do in 2 seconds. Obviously, the big point about how you make the shades in the under the two bodies and how you make them be so well placed. And there's basically there is a shooting technique to it. I will go through it meticulously. And then there is the editing. And frankly, the editing is long and on the borderline of being boring. Okay, so if you just want to look at this photo and say that's a very nice photo and applaud, then I think you should give the video a good like and say, yeps, he gets a like for this one, and just stop the video now because it's gonna get long and drawn out. Simply because to make a photo like this, you have to do some work. There is just no way around it, and if you're in for the long haul, you wanna do it, you wanna get the full show, then you have to watch the next part of this video. This is where I will go through in detail how you do the shoot, the preparatory measures of how to get the woman, the man, and the daughter so they can integrate. Okay, it's not that in itself is something you need to pay attention to, but the editing is tedious and long. It's 1 hour long editing, and if you're not into editing, you should skip that. If you really want to learn how to do this shoot, including the editing, no way around it. You have to pour up a good solid cup of coffee and focus, because this is not an easy job. Now I do end off the video by saying that and then we'll go see how it turned out when it came out on Dibond, which is a very hard material and so on. Not a photo, but it's sort of like where you burn with UV light on a surface, and then you make this very nice print. But I end the video by saying that we are going on location, and then I flipped it around and say, okay, we start with on location. We make it easy and nice and digestible, and now we are going into for some boring stuff, right? This is where we get technical. This is where I'm gonna give you all the ins and outs of this photo, because this is detailed. Now I'm shooting with a 50 megapixel with a photo camera, so so this is high resolution stuff. So you can actually see that if we go close, you see the details here are a little bit more fine than on the girl, and it's because the girl is just 50 megapixel. It's still very good quality, you can see that, but actually the details up around the two small figures are just as big as the daughter. So actually there is a little bit of quality difference in terms of if you make it to be a very big print, which it was life size for the girl, 1:1, and I will touch upon how you do that. I will not go into the exact mathematics on how to do that in the video. If somebody wants it, I can do a video on that, but it's too technical already. So this is where the boring video has already started. It's sort of like and I watched some of this, I sampled some of the video of me editing, and I'm just like sitting there mumbling, swearing and cursing. No, I'm not. But anyway, it's the process. You just see it, how I handle the problems, and I even pre-edited a little bit so you didn't get to see all of it, because then you simply all would have fallen asleep. Great fall asleep video. You know, you can use it for that. But you can also use it for making this magical photo, which it truly is. I'm really satisfied with it, and I think it was totally worth the time and effort. And to see these three people, I was out shooting the on location part today, where I saw it hanging on the wall, and it was so funny to see, in a sense, the three people walking around and this life-size girl also hanging on the wall. It had something. It was this is where the photo really fulfill its purpose in my book. That is when it becomes part of the interior design at a higher level, which you will see that this photo really achieved. So anyway, I was very satisfied with it. Okay, so with much no further ado, I will bring on the boring stuff. Here is the editing part of the show, and also the how to do the photo shoot. We do that first. If you want to take it in portions, you can look at the how do we do the photo shooting and the editing, and then just take a nice big break in between and bolster up with an extra cup of coffee and so on. Here we go. Welcome to the magic hour. I don't know if it's going to take an hour or so, but if it does, I'm probably going to fast forward so you don't get to see it all. But today's job is a very interesting one, and I'm going to walk you through the different steps, but we actually have to rewind a bit, because if you want to do stuff like this, you're going to actually start with the idea, and we're going to start with having a look at what can go wrong first off. Now, actually, a lot of the time when you ask someone to do that, they do this, and I don't know if you can see my hands, they are not placed. I might think, oh, I can have some people in my hands, but they're actually not like that. So what I do, I take this girl's hands and I press actually a doll. I have a doll in the studio. Well, I use that doll for showing people how to handle a baby and what positions I want them to do, etc. But it also can be used for stuff like this. So I place this doll here and say, now this doll is rather heavy. Can you feel the weight? And they get sort of like, okay, so they get the idea that I'm gonna hold it like this. And of course the idea is here that this girl actually wanted to do something fun, and I think she persuaded her parents to go along with it. I helped, but that was more or less what was going on. So anyway, those two hands, if they're placed like this or something like that, they're not right. They should be placed like, oh, I'm holding something, and there should be something there resembling, because you actually have to have the parents' butt to sit here, so it has to curve right. Yeah, and you see that will become very essential, because next, when we have this big picture, big picture because she's going to be the big one, and also have big screen in the studio, so we throw it up on that and say, okay, so this is where we are right now. So now we need to get, and there's a lot of things which can go wrong when you do a photo like this. And they're small things, and they will spoil the picture completely. I'll walk you through some of the errors. But this guy, the dad, actually has to sit in an elevated position, because if his legs are just going down on the floor and the feet will be placed on the floor is not going to work. He's going to actually look right. And this is very important. So we're actually going to, now we know where he's going to be placed. So now we need to have him do the right thing. He actually has to do a balance act to stay on this bloody contraption I made for him. So he's up there and flying around and trying to keep the balance. And he's doing that very well, and it looks authentic. The idea with the pose for the mother was a little bit different. We wanted it to be more relaxed. She's more sort of zen. And but there was this, the side of the girl's hands, she had to curl her feet around those. I don't know if you can see that, but we already planned that her butt would go here and then her feet would go sort of like over the side of the hand. And all these things are so important. If you don't do those things right, this is not going to work. And we are far from finished, but I'm just saying you need to do a lot of stuff right. Also, perspective, camera angle. I don't know if you go back here, you can see I am looking straight into the girl's eyes as the cameraman. But if I would be looking at someone sitting in the hands of this girl, I will be looking slightly down. Okay, so here I'm a little bit elevated. I don't know if you can see that. I'm a little bit higher and not looking straight into the eyes, but it's just very minute things. It could work even though this was not done, but let's just go all the way. Right, so we're not finished yet, because the idea was, I sort of said to them, look, why don't we do it in her real size, like exactly how she is. So it's going to be 1 for 1. There's going to be a picture hanging on the wall and her face is just going to be completely like that. How do we do that? There's a little bit of tricks to doing that. That is, I think I'll take that up in another video because it's a little bit advanced. But it's actually, I can give you some of the steps. You need to have, this family figured out where it's going to be. And I asked for measurements, very precise measurements, because then I could do this. I could say, okay, I got the precise measurement of her, I get the precise measurement of this, and then I can say, okay, this is not, I mean, there's actually 2 steps in making a photo like this. First, we have to make sure that she will be in the right proportions when it arrives at their home. But also, so they could visualize that this would be the right idea, I have to do this editing of the photo. So we have another one here, which they sent me of their home, and here we go. Now, what we can see here is actually a little bit funny, because you can see on the other wall over here there is a picture, and I don't think the actual sizes of the dad and mom are very different in terms of head size. But the funny thing is, of course, is that the kid is grown, and that's sort of the story. Okay, I love to do stuff like this. So I think we're now ready to look at the actual material. So we got this one here, and this is straight from, of course, there is it starts by doing, we need to cut them out, and I actually did that while in the studio. So it's a very, you need to be a little bit fast working with Photoshop if you're going to do this thing here, because I actually have this one ready in the studio, and then I can tell the folks here why don't we do this? And we sort of say, yes, that's where we're going. Let's check out if it's possible, if we have the right place and so on, if there's room, can she be in real one-to-one size and so on. And of course, it requires that you have something you can show the people and say, this is where we are, and they can see, oh, it's gonna be happening, and that's very important. So to do the full show, and where you also get this is gonna be, it's not gonna be made on paper. It's gonna be burned on dibond. I must say burned because you use UV light, and then you use I think it's 6 layers on top of each other. They do that in the lab. I have a lab I have worked with consistently for 15 years, so I know people there. I talk to the boss or the technical guy in charge and so on. So I have good people who's going to handle that side of it. But anyway, it's not a completely inexpensive product, so it needs to be done right, because it needs to be right first time around, obviously, for not making it so costly that there is absolutely no profit for me. So okay, let's see here. So let's just go quickly back here. We have to get these elements right. So we have the mom and dad and ready to be moved in place. Okay, so what I do right now, I just quickly check, because I noticed that above her feet there is a little bit of the original background. I need to have attention on that, because it'll probably be there. Also, you can see in her hands here there is something of the original background. I removed it over here, but you need to sort of like be very, very careful, because one mistake can spoil it. But I think, okay, I got now what I'm supposed to look at for her, and I'll just quickly do the same thing with Dad. I'll just quickly check that all is not bad, but sort of okay-ish. Let's go around, have a check. Looks like we're pretty okay. There's a little bit of something not looking so perfect down here. Just need to have attention to that. There's some stuff here also not looking perfect. This is a very, very fast edit I did in the studio, and of course it can't be perfect. But I'm quite satisfied with it. It's really it's a good it's good work I have done to start off with here. So also there is this thing, if you do stuff like this, you need, and you're sort of promised this is going to happen. Well, I mean, you put your word at stake here. It is going to happen. So you better be doing these things right. Okay? So let's just see where we're at. There is there is this error going around here which looks wrong, obviously, and this is the mother we have here. Alright, she comes in here, and there is this we just need to clean that out. So these are the different layers, right? And it's very cool with Photoshop that you have all these layers. You can also remove the bottom ones, and you might be able to see more. Not very successful. But I wanted to check these where she's gonna sit, and here we're gonna have shades coming under her, so this is quite important that these small areas are good. So we're gonna remove a little bit more. I need a harder edge on this one here. And there's a little bit back and forth. I mean, there's many ways you can do this, but I'm just gonna do a little bit back and forth, and then this is gonna be a little bit blurry here anyway, because it's gonna be this shade, so I don't need to do it absolutely perfect. I could also actually bring in some shade. Oops, not like that. But I could do this thing that I could take in and create, so the shade under her, it seems like it was a little bit, she also already have a little bit of shade there, and we can get this to arrive in the hand. I don't know. I think I'm gonna do it differently, but so I'm just gonna let it be removed there. Okay, so here is the, let's bring it back because I took a little bit too much off. You might think that, oh, now this is boring. It is boring. It's just one step back and one step forward, and all of a sudden we're there. By the way, I use a normal mouse. I don't use pen or anything like that. I just use a normal mouse. This is fine. You don't need to over edit it because it's fine like that. Let's just see what else. Oh, we got this square down there. There we go. Sorry, triangle. So I'm gonna just increasing the tolerance to get more perfect selection. Right now it's on 35. See, the selection gets more and more just like perfect, so I don't have to do so much, and I'm just saying feather by 4. Let's test it. Nah. Then you just go back and try another. I think I'm gonna feather by 2. Let's see how that works. Almost invisible. Okay, well, this is a minor detail. It's gonna be in the, and I'm probably just gonna put shade down there anyway, so I think this is okay. We've got a little bit of stuff here we need to remove. And you can see there is some, when this gets up in very high resolution, all these errors will be fatal. So we just need to get them all right. So when I paint it in, I use the eraser tool and it's set to black, and that works as a brush. Let's see, where are these? Alright. And let's go even closer. So, if you're gonna make a line, you could do this thing that you go this way, and then you can paint it in like this, one little bit at a time until you reach where you think, oh, it's around there. That's fine. And then you do the same, you go here, and when you get to the next one, just cut straight in, shift the brush to, I'm not running a completely sharp brush, as you can see. It's because I'm going to put shade under it, so it doesn't matter so much. So I'm going to continue, and I move it over here. Looks sort of acceptable. That was too much. And I use Windows, so I press Control Z, and then it goes back to the previous one. And I also get confused about whether I'm painting in or removing. And as I all the time know that I'm going to put a black shade under her, so I'm not so worried if I leave a little bit, because it's going to blend fine with the shade, and I'm going to put a shade under her. So I could actually be overdoing it right now. I don't know. I don't think so, but I could be. Let's see. You can get the thought, is it does her feet needs to be exactly like her feet? And frankly, I don't know my own feet. I mean, to this detail, how they look or not look, or something like that, I don't think it's that important. But I noticed something here which is a bit of an issue she might have consideration on. She has nail polish on. Okay, and of course this woman was not prepared for that me and her daughter all of a sudden found this great project that now we were going to do. Okay, so I need to help her a little bit on some minor issues here. So I mean, you can get a what's it called when you do someone's feet? Anyway, I see this line here. I need a clean line, so I'm gonna take a little bit of this. I've got a feather with 4. Copy. Enter. And now I have a little bit of an. I was at the wrong place. Copy here. Okay. So now we have an extra line here. Yeah. And that looks about right. She has a beauty spot there. This is almost right. I'm gonna I could leave it like that, but I did something, I merged the layers, because then I can paint it, but it might be a very bad mistake if there is if I need to have something I have removed back. Let's quickly just see if there is something I'll run into as a problem, because I merged the little patch, I merged that with the original, and then when you do that, then you lose all the details. Well, the nails are complete, and I'm just gonna go quick. Her hair also looked decent. I mean, in terms of haven't been cut out. So I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm just gonna say, okay, good. But I'm not done here. This woman was not prepared for me and her daughter's crazy idea when she arrived at the studio. Okay, so I need to fix her nails. This is just, so I need a little bit of nail. I have this nail here, and I can, so you have piece of nail here, and I'm gonna press Control copy. Now I have a little bit of an extra nail, and I have some issue with something down here which I am not happy with completely, so I think that she would not be happy with it either. So I need to find out what's going on, so I will make the blending here of the layers like 50-50, because I need to sort of like have it positioned. So there's different things. I will distort. I will rotate it a little bit first. I'll make it a little bit longer. I use the warp. I'm just trying to make it sort of like talk to the nail which is under it already. So I'm gonna actually be able to extend her nail just a little bit, because I think she'll be happy about that. And women lots of times don't say stuff like this to a man, because he wouldn't understand. But I've seen women a lot of times women will not tell you what they're thinking, because it's just I think this is a woman thing. But I've seen it so many times, and I need to sort of like you have to know what they're thinking. I have an acceptable nail now, and this has the right inclination to match these nails here. So I actually have repair. I mean, it has the right direction. It's going. The nails have a structure which is going parallel. So I can use this nail here to fix up these nails over here. So I could do the same process as I just done, but I already have a little bit of nails, so I think I'll just mix it. So I will now I'm going for a shade which is sort of the same-ish. Here, same, and I'm gonna make it harder and smaller. Too small, too hard, not right. Something like this. It's like finding the brush which will be perfect for the job. Oh, I have an opacity of 53. I'm actually gonna go with 100%, because otherwise it's too difficult to see what's going on. So it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be yet. I'm just putting a little bit of extra on. Oh, I need to take a little bit of this again and put it over here. And here also. Nope. I need to go here. And then I'm gonna delete some of that. There could be a shine there, so that's okay. And while I'm now deleting, I'll also take a little bit of that, because that was my plan all the time. Take a little bit of that. Here's the nail. That's okay. So do you have all nails now? We actually have this one also? Should we try just going from this directly? It's not sure that it's going to work, but it just should be a little bit of shine, and that's sort of okay. I'll take a little bit from there also. No, that looks what? That looks odd. That looks odd. Okay, so I think I will conclude this nail polish handling, and merge those two layers. I mean, the layers thing is over here. I'll just put it in the screen so you can see what's going on. Okay, so now I think the feet's okay. They're ready for the continued flow. Let's just check her out. Oh, here, this one. Okay. I'm gonna fill it with 2. Looks sort of right. And let's see how it goes. Actually, it took a little bit too much. There's gonna be white behind her anyway, right? If I bring in the girl, I don't need to do anything to that. That's not important, because this nuance of white and that white is fine. It's sort of the same. No problem. We'll leave that. Because more this one has we have to see the blouse on the other side, so that needs to be done. Okay, so we are gonna have that checked out. All right. And if I see something in this process, I handle it immediately. I see a little bit here, and these are just cosmetics. But I'm gonna put the opacity to 38, and I'm just gonna make him like he has slept more. He's gonna put a little bit of extra under his eyes, a little bit extra light, it will appears to be, and we'll just make him a little bit more awake. And I will clean up not much. There's a little bit in the skin, needs to be fixed. These things are not dramatic. Sometimes I will on a very Photoshop picture like this one here, I will actually leave some skin issues just because it makes it look altogether more real. Okay, so I'm being careful not to. There's some structure here which is he probably has all over the face, but the lighting makes it very apparent there. So I'm just gonna dim that down a little bit. Also, I have this opacity of 38, so I'm not removing it. I'm just sort of like dimming it down a bit. And okay, very small thing. I notice this thing in the teeth, and this could be a little bit of food. So now we're at the dentist, and we're also fixing that. Here we go. That was a quick visit to the dentist. I mean, I'm really envious. Um, I one time went to the dentist and I was going to have a big thing, I mean surgical thing, where they were gonna drill in my teeth and do all sorts of horrible things. And then I said, okay, can I tape it? I asked. I mean tape. Can I record the sounds? And I had a microphone here at my chest, sitting here, and then I recorded the incident. I wonder where that. I mean, I have done film, movies and so on, and I thought maybe with this could be a nice sound effect or something. But I haven't done any horror movies, so I never used it. I don't remember where it is now. So that is looking good. Hands good. I was just wondering, what is that sticking out there? Because that is the hand. And now we're going to work a little bit with that, because it's, and there are also these things with the trousers. Needed to remove that. Fabric of the jeans. What was that down there? Actually, here it doesn't have to be too right, because you can actually do it wrong, and it's because this you can just do it. I mean, it doesn't have to be right, because it's just stuff, and it could have been like this. So you don't need to do much. It just needs to sort of be. It needs to look real. You can even make it, if you think that was too much, then you just it looks real. Okay. So actual pixels is a very good thing to use when you are gonna investigate a photo. Actual pixels in when you use the enlargement, you go actual pixels, because then you be able to see these small details which we want to fix. You can actually see I'm using a little bit of a softer brush than the original was cut here. So but it's, these things are so small they will not show up. But if you judge the picture in actual pixels, you will have a pretty good idea what's going on. And when you go closer than that, you're down in details which probably is not visible. There's a little bit of, this is stupid that I go into that, but on the other side of the, he has I mean, this is ridiculous, but you can see there's a bottom there, and the thread is making a little thing like here, and I know this is too much, but I tend to think, well, it shouldn't stick out, should it? And I tend to go, okay, so why not just remove it and just make it go away. And that's ridiculous, because no one is ever gonna have an issue with that. So at this point in time, he's going there. And actually, we are imagining that her hands get stretched a little bit, and then what we need to look at now is if we can make this look even better before we put the shades on. So I'm going to move him a little bit around. So he sort of lands there. That's probably better. He's coming down and he lands here. He looks comfy. Here. Cool. That's it. That's where you're gonna land. Let's do the same with Mom. So let's levitate. Oops. I levitated the wrong person. Let's just see what happened. Yeah, I moved him up. Okay, I'm not sure this is the final placement, so I'll just have to have Dad levitate again and go down and sit here. And then there will be a shade under him. Maybe we should do that now. So I go to the bottom over here, bottom layer, and I make I press levels, and what I do is that I have to take this in here so you can see it. I'm gonna, and I'm looking at the down here. I'm trying to find out when is the shade correct. There's other issues you can see which will be a problem, but there'll be a dark shade very close, and then there will be a little bit of extra shade. I'll show this later. But okay. So for now, I'll leave it like this, and then I'll take the levels here and press the mask and press invert, so it disappears. Okay, but I noticed that we had some issues with something very light here when we activated the mask. So let's try to put some shade now. First, we're gonna put a broad shade, because shades are funny. They come in a broad shade. Oh, it should be a lot softer than that. So you can see this was totally wrong. The harshness should be just 0. So we're gonna put the soft shade on. Yeah. And all the way up at the trousers, oops, we're gonna put a darker shade. So we're gonna go down to a small one, and I'm gonna put, there wasn't anything left in it in terms of difference, so I'm gonna make another levels, because I want a darker shade, which is almost like completely dark. So I'm gonna make another level, and I'm gonna go not that dark, but maybe like this. So I again press on the mask and invert it, and then I will put in this very dark. Okay, you can see this white thing. We have this rim here. Obviously that's annoying. So I'm gonna go to him again on the mask, and I'll take a little bit of this away now. Whoops. need to have this gone because it doesn't work with this dark shade we're gonna make. It has to go all the way. It has nothing to do here. You see, as soon as I do these things here, it actually starts to look a lot more real. This is magic. So the shade comes in two stages. One sort of like fluffy, and then one which is really dark. Maybe there should be more of a middle tone. So when I do it from a middle tone, I select the levels layer again, then the top layer with the dark one, I press a big brush, and I take the edge and just do a little bit like that. Let's just try it again. I thought it looks good, but let's just try a little bit here. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a little bit of a look. So and right here we have that silly white line again. So, oops. When I do something wrong, I just go immediately back in history, so it's sort of like gone. I'm gonna make, I think it's likely to sort of like assume that there will be some shading on the hands. Maybe not so much, just a little bit on the fingers. So I'm gonna take my broad and maybe make it a little bit more fluffy, and then I'm just gonna see if I can make a little bit of shading, sort of like pop out here, and go on the finger to sort of like authenticate this area a bit. Maybe it's a little bit on that also. Whoops. Whoopsie. Remove that. Okay. Now, let's look. So that is now sitting here. This shine here going on this side is an error, and it shows up where it goes in front of the daughter. So we need to remove all that. It wouldn't be this thing here because move those things also. It doesn't have to be completely exact, it just needs to be gone. I'll make it a little bit smaller maybe. So you see, when you've done all these small points and people are sort of in vain looking for a giveaway, like how is this possible and so on, you got them. You sort of like have this magic thing. I don't know if you can see how much better this is if we compare to when I started. We can just do a quick history check all the way to when I opened it. Let's just see. So this is where we started. You start even seated, and now we are here. Much better, much better. We have the same issue with the hands up here. Have this white highlight, which is not gonna work in front of her because there wouldn't be this highlight there. So this is boring because you need to remove it. but it just wouldn't be there. Actually, maybe some of this I'm removing now would be there, but it's... And I'm using a too soft brush. So, rewind. I need to use a smaller brush. Even more boring. Okay, so I could do this thing that I try to select it away. And I used a selection tool. We'll talk about that in another video. I can also just show it. Doesn't matter. My screen, I have it on another screen and it doesn't seem cooperative. Anyway, so I will just remove it. That's not looking nice. That's looking all ragged, right? So what I do is, it's called Magic Wand, the tool I just used, but I need to make the edge softer by 2, and then I'm gonna delete very fast around it and hope that it looks better now. Let's see. So to evaluate this, we're gonna go to actual pixels and have a look. It doesn't look bad. I don't know, there is something about this little area here. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but let's see. Yeah, that looks right now. Good. Okay, so let's get Mom placed as well. So she has this shine. We just saw. She also has that shine here. And it's invisible as soon as we get up there, but right here it's anyway, let's just have a look at her. So see if I can make a selection also here. And try 2 again. Delete. If we're very lucky, it will just all be gone. I'm not sure about this area here. It looks like there is some... Let's see. Much less. So actually, I'm gonna do the lazy thing. I'm just gonna do it again. So I'm gonna make a new selection and I'm gonna eat out 2 more. And let's see what we have. Here and here and over here. I think that's it. Let's see how that went. There's still something left there. and it's not important, but when you are on this journey of trying to make something magic, I think you should go all the way. So it looks like it could actually be 3 pixels. I'm not sure. It seems that this has some light catching that. Let's try with 3, and then I will use a hard brush and small and just check it on this area here. Gone. All right. So and Mom has a little bit of dust on her, and I have a rule. If I see it, I remove it. I mean, I don't go, okay, I'll remove that a little bit later or whatever. If I see it, I remove it right away, because let's use opacity 100 and then just be very sure that we clone. Oh, I'm probably still selected. If your editing doesn't work, just you have a selection active, and what you're doing has no effect. Still does no effect. I might be on something wrong. I might be on Dad. That's right. So here she comes again, and let's just remove those small things. So I'm cloning very exact from a completely similar area in terms of lighting and terms of structure. This is very important. If you want to do 100% opacity, you have to be dead on precise, because otherwise it looks like shit. Very simple. So you see, that one looked like shit. It wasn't perfect. So let's just go back and try again. So I'm gonna go here and there. That's perfect. Good. I think I was closer than I needed to be. Actual pixels. This is actual pixels. So we go over here. We do the same thing here. There's some light coming in here. Whoops. There's some light coming in here, which I don't understand. So we probably have to do something about that. And we have this line again, and I just use the magic wand and I'm gonna go with a feather of, I think I'm actually gonna be a little bit lazy. I'm gonna take 3 and remove it in one go. So I have it a little bit hard, so I don't take any from here, but I will just start here and then I will go down there. Did something happen? Let's just see it. I'm just going back in history. So we were here. There's a very distinct line, and that doesn't work. So we went to here. It's better. It's so faint now, so it doesn't. And again, check how close you are. I'm actually too close for it to really matter, but okay, good. Now what do we got? What do we got? We're gonna so this hand here is something very interesting. We're gonna do this thing where we get mom to fly and then land. I want to use some space on that. Alright, here we go, and you land, and if you land, that finger, the little pinky finger, would go around her butt, right, and we could actually squeeze in her butt a little bit so it looks okay. So we're gonna make this connection down here more real. So I'm gonna take mom and put her in liquefy, and now we need to sort of like observe this area here. Let's see if I'm doing this right. It could be my computer, which is like slow and boring and not. This is the moment where you wish that you did backup. So I'm just going to actually press cancel, because I'm a little bit concerned right now. You could get to a point by doing a lot of stuff where you can lose all your work, which is not good. So I'm going to quickly go and say save. Whoosh. And I'm going to press purge, meaning I need to have all memory available now. So I will lose all ability to go back now to previous editing and so on. So I'll just go that. This cannot be undone. Continue. Yes. I need the computer to be a little bit more stable. So we're looking at this. And what I want to do is to take her hand and push the mom's butt just a little bit. And I want that finger to go around the butt also. So let's try to do that. But I will do this on a copy, and I will show you why I do that. So make a duplicate layer of mom's butt and the whole mom, and then it didn't go away. I just pressed the wrong button, but that was a scary moment. Liquefy. Here we go. Have I selected something wrong, or is this just 13%? That means I'm very, very close to something. For some reason or other, I don't know, my computer is a bit under pressure. So I'm just going to make very sure that it is mom I have selected, and I'm only going to select one of them. Okay, and then I'm just going to press liquefy. I'm afraid I'm just going to wait this one out. I don't understand why I'm not shown. My computer is actually not a slow computer. It's just that this task is a rather big picture, because I have enlarged the I mean, we're basically having 350 megapixel pictures in and all the layers on top of each other, and this could be large, but it's here we go. Here she comes. Whoa, that took a long time. Okay, so I will actually go a little bit closer. Here we are. Good. So I'm now gonna take this, make sure it's the right size, and squeeze it in just a bit. Maybe a little bit more. I think actually this is sort of like instinct. I think actually it will look more real if I did this. So I'm gonna do that. You see, I'm actually making her leg look a little bit weird now, but I'll fix that. I'll fix that. I think this is it. I'm not sure that her pinky toe is completely correct. There seems to be something odd about that. It's having a hard time. So when your computer starts to have a hard time, take a lot of backups and pray. Usually there shouldn't. It's probably because I got something running in the background which is causing problems, because usually it's quite stable. I might have a break. Oh, it's moving now. Oh, I was just about to say I might take a break. So apparently it's just like, let's just see. That's the other one. Yeah. Okay. Go. Boom. Go. Boom. I'm trying to find out the pressure of this finger here. Okay. I said something about I would fix her, and I could, because I got this other one thing behind her, but it's just, did her angle get too small, or is that not important? I think it looks real, so I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm actually going to say, okay, I have the original version of her here, but I don't think it's necessary to keep that, so I'll delete it. Then I'm gonna do something very interesting. We now gonna bring the finger forward, which is here, right? Because that should be around her butt. So we are now, I like these points in the editing where something important is happening. So let's bring it up. Where is it? Where is this magic finger? It's here. And it goes all the way up to there. And it's really holding her. Okay, good. So now we will was I on the wrong? Sometimes you can do this thing that you can if you're not editing on the mask, you're editing directly on the layer, then this happens and you go, what happened? And you can do the safest thing is to go back here. And be very sure that you now are on the mask. If you're on the mask, you can paint the butt back and forth like you want to. So let's just take her, where is it? All of it. Here. Good. And then we paint it in. Wrong brush. That's better. Whoops. And of course we have to remember that here will always also be I have actually an appointment coming up now, so I might have to stop this and you will not be able to see the full editing. But what I will do is I will try to finish this video on location, because actually I agreed that I could come and photograph the finished result when it has arrived. Okay, so even though we are finished, I have an appointment coming up, so I will not probably be able to finish this one up. That will be pure luck, because I actually gone past the hour I had. So I'll probably do a little bit of rewind, a little bit of fast forward also now and again on this thing here. So what is it we're doing here? We're just basically making this hand grab her better. And there will be a shade behind her also. So this is going to be one of these things which are very important for the completion of this. You see the hand is now curling around, and we got mom inside of the hand, and this is a very important point. And it's very important that what you do is when you do the editing, you sit and you go, okay, so why doesn't it look right, and what would make it look right, and back and forth until everything just looks right. So here, okay. Okay, so we have the shading layers from that, and we're just going to bring them in full power now. We're going to start with a big shadow, and we're going to make that nice and big. So So there will be shadow all the way down here on maybe not that big. That's fine. Okay, so we now are gonna start the shadowing, and the shadowing will go. I know the issue with the shadow now also go on the background, but that's not so important because we're just gonna sprinkle the shadow on her. And okay, and now we're gonna take a little bit away because the white, the light wouldn't that sneak around her like that? Don't know. Obviously it wouldn't be around her feet if they're just sticking out like that. Oh. Now her feet look normal. It was because there's some that's fine. Good. And I'll just select the hand there because we want to remove it in here. Oops. Not on that. On the shadow. So obviously it should only go on the hand and not on the background. So I have my point list coming up. I have to stop. All right. So you see where we're going, and we'll continue the video on location.